Before we start, we'll just go through an introductory video, and then let's get on to the session.
हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए, लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा, या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहाँ हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज, जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें, या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहाँ आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहाँ आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Great. Welcome, everybody. My name is Rohan, one of the co-founders of QFUS, supporting Apna with the mentors. QFUS is a mentorship aggregator platform, and we've been with Apna for quite some time now. And as a part of Apna Exclusives, and as a part of community engagements, we have been doing this termed as Apna Exclusives for a while. The sessions happen at 7 p.m. on weekdays and 3 p.m. on weekends. The main idea is to help people ideate and advance in their professional career. And we are covering a wide range of topics, be it spoken English, finance, or technical subjects like data science, product management, mainly to upskill individuals in their career. So today we have Anudesh with us. Hi, Anudesh, who's a designer at Microsoft, and he's going to take us through navigating the design landscape and a career guide. Without much ado, Anudesh, I'll hand it over to you, and you can conduct the session however you feel like. You can have a 10-minute session. You can have a quick check on the chat box as well. And if people have any questions, you can feel free to raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask the questions. So let's try to keep it a more interactive session rather than just a one-way session. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So I'll start with sharing my screen. Let me know when my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Awesome. So is the presentation audible, visible?
Yep.
Great. So today I'll be talking about design in general, and I'll be answering your questions about what design is, what kind of work there is, and all of the other things that might come up. So firstly, a little bit about me. I am a digital product designer from, I work at Microsoft. I did my master's in universal design from NID, and then I started working at SAP Labs, where I designed experiences for recruitment that were AI powered. And then I switched to Microsoft, where I started working on third party tools for Microsoft Copilot. So before we get into what design is by my definition, I would like to know what is design according to you all. So maybe we can spend like a minute or so as you can type it in the chat. I don't see any messages in chat yet. I'll wait for a couple of seconds. Oh, I think some people have raised their hand. So yeah, if you want to speak and say, that's also good.
I think we'll go ahead. I think anyone can unmute themselves if you want to answer the questions also. Chat box is active anyway. So.
Cool. I think we have an answer. Design means having creativity for something. Yeah, that's a good overall view of things. So I'll move on. So basically, design is the fusion of tech and art as long as it solves a user need. So you can think of it like an equation where it's like tech is multiplying with art and it is being raised to the power of user needs. One such example of this could be the technology could be mechanisms, material science, metallurgy, battery technologies, and there are so many technologies. And then color, material finish, ergonomics. So when you look at just the lower part of the equation, it may seem like it's okay, there are different technologies and there are different arts. But when you combine them and give them the purpose of a user need, that is to check time and look good doing it, you get watches. So you can see the end product that come out of this particular work, that is a product of design. So even in watches, you can see there's a Rolex, there's a G-Shock, there is a Swatch. Each and every kind of different watches that you must have ever seen serve a different purpose for a different user group, and there are so many ways this could impact. So of course, this equation is just a illustrative way of looking at it, but it is not exhaustive. Now if we take the same equation and change the user need from checking the time to going from one place to another, the tech at a high level is same. We are still looking at mechanisms, we are still looking at material science, metallurgy, battery technology, and so many things. And art wise, we are also just looking at color, material finish, and things like that. But we change the purpose of the work that we are doing by fusing them into going from one place to another, and it the outcome changed completely to locomotives. And even in locomotives, there are planes, there are trains, there are big cars like Mercedes, there are big cars like Innova, there are smaller cars like even Nano, there are electric scooters, there are bikes that are high performance, there are regular bikes, and there's so many variety. So this equation kind of translates into various different aspects when um, you think from the point of view of the finer aspects of it. Okay, do you want to go from Delhi to Bombay? Then you'll probably take a train or a plane. Or do you want to go from India to the USA? You'll probably have to only take a plane. And if you want to go, let's say, commute within the city of Delhi, then you'll probably take metro or auto or something else. If we are looking at, let's say, a rich businessman in Dubai, they'll probably get a G Wagon as shown, the Mercedes D Class. If some politician wants to transport themselves from one place to another, they'll probably use Onova. If someone wants to go from one place to another, which is just nearby, and they just want to um, maybe just use a scooter, they would probably use Ola electric scooter. Or someone wants to race, then they'll use bikes. Now coming to another version of this, like if the technology is big data, web or app development, AI, ML, and the art is UX design, psychology, visual design, and we want to create something that could help people summarize, ask about content, and create content, then the outcome of that would be AI tools such as Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Midjourney, Perplexity. So this is the overall look of what design really is. But of course, this is not exhaustive and there are so many nuances to it. But let's get to the next phase, becoming a designer. How do you become a designer? But more importantly, I think from the chat, it's abundantly clear like everyone's goal is to get a job at the end of the day. So our main purpose of becoming a designer is to work as a designer, get a job in a company. So let's work our way back to how do we become a designer. So if you want to get a job in a company, then you would want to apply to that company. And if you are applying, you'll need a very strong portfolio. So if you need a portfolio, if you are building a portfolio, the fundamental building blocks of that portfolio are projects. So you have to create great projects. And if you want to create great projects, you have to first learn, design, and develop your skill set. And then finally, you can explore the field, get familiar with design landscape, and learn what is needed to become a professional. So starting with the first point now, explore the field. Firstly, familiarize yourself. What are the different fields that are out there? Now, typically, when we talk about design, we always think of fashion design, but there are various different verticals of design which a person can go into, which may or may not be fashion design. So, firstly, you have product design, the design of physical products. This could also incorporate fashion design. And in this, some of the key skills that you need are 3D modeling, testing, material science, prototyping. Then there is the visual design aspect of things, where you have to focus on visual content, creating logos, posters, these posts that you see on Instagram, and all of those things. In this case, the main tools that you use are Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. And nowadays, there are so many AI tools that you can leverage for your visual design. Then there's the other nuance of interaction design. Interaction design essentially is designing digital products. So your apps, say Zomato, Ola, Uber, Gmail, and if you want to think about Chrome, Edge, browsers, the operating system, Windows, and what have you. And the key tools here I've just put two, like wireframing and prototyping, but I'll get into more. Then there's also something called as service design, which is a further high level design where you are not designing something that you can touch and feel, something that you have to experience. So it is designing of the services, such as what would a postal service look like, and things like those. So in this, the key skills are systems thinking, journey mapping, etc. Now, moving on to, like, once you have finalized what area you want to work in, or if we just think from the interaction design perspective, you have to then think of how do you develop the relevant skill set and learn the design. So of course there are two aspects to it. There's learning and development, and sorry, there's learning and there's development. Now, for learning, there are two ways of going about it. You can get formal education, you can apply through an IDDAT or seed, or USEED if you are applying for bachelor's. So there are many ways you can apply and get into some of the colleges that are out there in India, or abroad for that matter. And you'll learn in a proper structured way, and you'll get a lot of foundational knowledge. But well, of course, there are a lot of pitfalls of this, and it is not really accessible for everyone, and it requires uh, capital. It requires a lot of I think after a point it becomes almost chance based, because you have to crack an exam and all of those, and sometimes it may not be possible. So thankfully, in this era, there are so many good online courses on Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, and so many others that you can go to learn specific design skill set and tools, which I will come to later. There's the next aspect of development of yourself as a designer. In that case, there are workshops and boot camps that you can attend, join, which are very hands on, and they are very intensive to develop practical skills. Now, then of course you have to be networking, you have to join design communities, perhaps like this one, attend conferences, connect with professionals through various social media channels, be it Instagram, be it LinkedIn, and get some insight of what the field has to offer, what the state of the job market is, and all of those things. So moving on. Now, if we speak purely from the point of view of interaction design or UX UI design, which is quite popular nowadays, here are the 8 important skills that you need to absolutely learn, and general topics that you should know about. So I would recommend people to probably take a screenshot here so that it makes your design learning journey easier. So and again, you can probably search for these topics on YouTube or one of these learning portals to learn about these. So firstly, there's design thinking itself. So again, you may not you can probably start your designing life, but you cannot skip design thinking, because that is the heart and soul of everything, and it is just methodic problem solving. Then there is user research, where you learn how to get the relevant insights to understand what the problem is and to design a solution ultimately. There's information architecture, then there's wireframing and prototyping, there's visual design, which I talked about previously. Of course, there's interaction design where you design the fine bits of it, like how would this move, how would that go there, what would be the weighting animation, and all of those things. And these are just very rudimentary examples or basic examples. Then there's usability testing, where you understand how do you take your prototype that you created in the previous step to I'm sorry, Ari. Yeah. So then there is usability testing, where you figure out how do you take that prototype to the users and show them your work, and then figure out what is working and then tweak accordingly. And then there's of course some fundamental tools that you need to master, such as Figma itself for efficient wireframing, prototyping, and collaboration. So the next step is creating good project. Now that you have learned all the things that I have mentioned previously, I think the first step to taking up a project is to explore the field. Look at what are the problems that are out there. Look at what are the things that you would want to solve. Probably you are not satisfied with your shopping experience on Amazon, or you think Google Pay can do a better job at scanning, or it could be something more high level, such as uh, how could we make sure that people in a city are better connected with each other, and then you work your way down. So there are a lot of things that you can explore and then see the issues that need or require solving. Then you design sorry, I think there's some issue here, but yeah, anyway, then you design what is needed for that, conduct a research and figure out sorry you then conduct a research and follow the design process to understand the problem area, and through design process you can create a solution. And then once that solution is created, you have to document that very well into a project case study. Now this will ensure that your projects are well designed, impactful, and aligned with the user needs. Now once you have a bunch of projects, you start working on your portfolio. Now, a portfolio is not just a collection of projects that you have, it is a reflection of who you are. So, you essentially have to showcase your personal skills. So, while you're learning designing, and even like as of today, there might be certain things that interest you more than others. You might enjoy a lot of creating posters, or maybe working with typography. And while you embark on your design learning journey, you will enhance those skills to a great level. You have to demonstrate that as well. Sometimes it might be something small, something big, something that is part of your project, and you have to showcase those skills. Then there are the demonstration of general skills. So all the skills that I've mentioned previously, those fall generally under those fall under the general skills. By general skills, I mean these are the basic, very basic skills that you need to get a job as a UX designer. And use various tools and platforms for portfolio, which could highlight your work properly, showcase it with interactive prototype, detailed case studies, and high quality visual. And ultimately you have to create a portfolio that is comprehensive and engaging and shows who are you as a designer. And finally you have to get a job in design. So with your portfolio ready, you have to begin your search. So firstly you prepare your resume, include relevant experience, skill set. Contact details are the most
Uh,
important, because I
Hello,
heard.
uh, so is the slide is what is design is the slide which is showing. Is the slide is the kind is the slide is it the slide you want to talk about?
uh I think there might be some error then, because I have moved way past what is design. I just
Got it. That's yep. That's what he like the slides you did. It really didn't got update. Like are you like something? Now it got in your slide of getting a job in design.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you see my slides move?
Now like I do. Are you operating now? I'm not seeing any movement.
Yeah, I am operating now.
Oh, it's not showing any movement actually.
Let me start sharing again. I wish someone would have told me earlier. But yeah, give me 1 second.
Glad actually maybe the time is right for me to say ask. Maybe a lot of speaking continues.
Yeah. It's okay. Give me 1 second.
Uh,
And I also got a message requesting me to speak in Hindi. Would that work for everyone? अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूं चलेगा क्या सबको?
you can use a mix of both languages, not a problem. But if you're Hindi, it's not for me.
Come again? Okay, I think you might be more comfortable if I talk in English.
Yeah, I feel real.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cool. Let
I
me
think we'll
know.
just go ahead, Anujish. Yeah.
I should avoid Hindi.
No, you can. If you're comfortable, you can just switch between two languages. That's completely fine.
Yeah. I just saw that message, so I figured that would
Yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Let me know when you can see my screen. Mm, are the slides
Got
moving?
into tech and art.
Mm,
Yeah, love it. I love this one.
cool. So yeah, I think I'll have to go back to the start, but I'll give a quick rundown now so that we have ample time for questions. So speaking of what is design, I put it in an equation where we think of it as a fusion of technology and art, which is only relevant and it is exponentially increased by the power of user needs. So if you think of, I hope the slides are moving now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
awesome. Yeah, just unmute yourself and let me know if there's any glitch because tracking that on messages is a bit hard and distracting for me. So cool. If you look at tech, there's mechanism, material science, metallurgy, battery technology, and so many technologies that are out there. Then there are colors, materials, finish, ergonomics, and so many different things that pertain to art or abstract creativity. But when you take it to the power of the user need of checking time, then the output that you get is watches. But if you take the same exact set of technologies, or should I say the domain of technologies, and change the user need to go from one place to another, the outcome completely changes and you get cars, or should I say locomotives. And even in that, there is a nuance of when I say go from one place to another, what is that one place and what is the other place? And that would define which one of the solutions I will need. If I want to go from India to America, I will take a plane. If I want to go from Delhi to Mumbai, I will take a train. If I want to go to, let's say, some place like Delhi to Agra, I'll probably get an Innova. Or if some rich businessman in Dubai is buying his 50th car, he'll buy a G Wagon or a Mercedes G Class. Or if just we want to get a small bike for going around, we'll probably get an Ola scooter, which is an electric scooter. Or if if we like racing, then we'll probably get like a sports bike. Now, if you take the technology of big data, app development, AI and ML, and fuse it with UX design, psychology, visual design, and I'm very mindful when I put psychology in art because again, art is not a generalized statement of something that is just abstract. It is something that is deeply creative, and understanding human psychology is indeed an art form, and that is one of the main learnings that you have from a design journey. So if we take it to the power of summarize, ask, and create content, we get all of these AI tools that we have been hearing about so much. There's Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Midjourney, Perplexity, and so many others. Then let's talk about how to become a designer. But more importantly, why are we here in a talk about becoming a designer? And that is because we want to work as a designer. So we at the end of the day want to get a job in a company. So let's work our way backwards and figure out how to become a designer. So firstly, if you want to apply for a job, you need a portfolio, and for a portfolio you need projects, and to work on projects that are design projects, you need to learn design and develop your skill set. And to start with that, you have to first explore the field and figure out what do you like. Of course, like when we talk about design, people generally relate design to fashion design, or in some cases graphic design. But there are four core pillars, although there are more, but for the sake of simplicity I've kept four core pillars of design. Firstly, there is product design, design of physical products like a bottle or clothes itself. Fashion design comes under product design. So do you want to design something that is a product, or do you want to design things like posters, logos, uh, typography, advertisements, and even videos that come on YouTube? Then that comes under visual design. An aspect of visual design is motion design, which comes wherein you work on videos. So that is one another one. And then there is interaction design, where you create these interactions between machines, typically mobiles, laptops, TVs, and all of these digital interfaces, and humans. So you figure out like how do you create these interfaces for digital products, and it is also known as UX/UI design. And then there's another level of abstraction there, which is called service design, where you're not designing something that you can touch or feel, but you can experience it. It could be your coffee experience at, let's say, some place like Starbucks. Like, if you enter, how are you greeted? If you order coffee, and what does the menu look like? How does the ambience make you feel? And all of these things fall under service design. Now, I am guessing that in this call, most people would be mostly interested into working into UX/UI design, and being a being in this field myself, I would be focusing on that. So, firstly, to learn design and develop your skill set, you can go one of the two ways. Firstly, you can go for formal education, join an institute, and enroll in a course, and then they will teach you design in a very structured format, and they'll give you foundational knowledge. But of course, there are a lot of pitfalls, such as the sometimes these fees are very high, and there are these issues, and then cracking the exam itself is a very nuanced thing. Sometimes it even feels like a stroke of luck. But despite that, I would recommend, if you can go for formal education in one way or another, that is preferred, because um, no matter what you say, the fact of the reality of the world is that it does give you an edge. And when you put something like that in your resume, it does help you get shortlisted faster. And this is the reality of the situation that I have also come to learn over my own journey, even before starting my career in design. But you can still learn design and become a very proficient self-taught designer. There is a wealth of knowledge in YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, and so many other learning platforms. And nowadays, there are also these online batch-wise courses that are running, that I'm not too aware about, but I can find out for you if you want. That offer courses on specific design skills and tools, which I will talk about later. Then once you have kind of gotten your feet into design, then you have to develop yourself as a designer. So for that, of course, job is one way, but then workshops and boot camps are very helpful for developing practical skills. Then you can also join design communities, attend conferences, and connect with professionals through Instagram, through LinkedIn, and other social networking channels, and kind of be connected with the design community in general. Now, the specific skills that are really relevant for interaction design and UX/UI design are design thinking, which is the overarching thinking of how do you solve a problem essentially. And the immediate first step of solving any problem is to understand that really deeply. And user research is something that helps you do that. So the next skill that is important is user research. Then there is information architecture, wireframing and prototyping, and visual design. These are very specific to creating those relevant screens, flows, and all of those things. And then there's interaction design, which is again, once you have created all of that, how would this flow for the user? Then there is usability testing. So once you have created all of like some kind of a prototype, how do you take it to the users to figure out what works, what doesn't? And in this process, there are certain design tools that you have to master. In today's day and age, Figma is that authoritative tool that you should learn. And I will not recommend any other tool per se. But if you want to learn any other tool for any other purpose, that is totally your call. And if you like something like 3D modeling, you should definitely invest your time in that. Not think, "Yare, it is not related to UX design, तो मैं कैसे करूंगा?" अगर कुछ चीज पसंद है तो उसको डेफिनेटली सीखो और उसको और अच्छा करो, क्योंकि आगे मैं जिस चीज के बारे में बात कर रहा था ना, पर्सनल स्किल सेट, ये वही होता है कि what are the personal things that you're bringing in to your UX design. And no two UX designers are exactly the same. I heard someone. Is the presentation loading okay?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. Uh, cool. Yeah, and then yeah, I think that was it on the slide. Then, well, let's figure out how to create great projects. So, first, you have to explore the field, understand what are the issues or needs or things that need fixing, or some kind of thing that you would like to work on to make better. It could be your delivery experience on Zomato, or it could be the rider experience for Zomato, or it could be something like a meditation app. If you think that meditation is important to you, then you can by all means work, because when you are working on your own personal projects, you have the freedom to pick whatever you like and whatever you can do well. Then I think I've repeated the learn, design, and develop skill set part here, because of course, like, this is a continuous process. You don't just learn everything and then create. You learn, you create, you learn, you create, and that is a back to back process that happens. Then there is the aspect of conducting research and following the design process. So like I said, firstly you have to understand what is the problem, how does it impact the users. You have the technology, you have the art, you have to then figure out, are you building a locomotive solution for going from India to USA, or from just your home to the nearby market. And then whatever you have done, from the problem to research to prototyping to testing, and then finally creating the solution that you have worked so hard for, you have to document that very effectively. And by documentation, I don't mean just like a project report. You have to document, okay, this is the part that I have done this. You have to take pictures, you have to add wireframes, you have to add screens, you have to add the insights that you got from the users, actual people that you spoke to. And this will ensure that your projects are well designed, impactful, and aligned with the user needs, which is the most important, is to the power of user needs. Always remember that. um yeah, finally, once you have a bunch of projects, you can start working on your portfolio. But keep in mind that your portfolio is not just a collection of projects, it is a reflection of who you are. So if you are like me, let's say you like photography, you like typography, which is um, creating these texts and the letters that you see. So your portfolio should show your photography skills and typography skills and your interests. Even like, I like certain kind of music, perhaps I can add that element. But then again, adding interest is kind of like a secondary thing. The primary thing is showing off your skills. So these are like personal skills which you can utilize even in your design journey and even in documenting it. I make sure that whatever projects I have, I include good pictures in it, and I make sure that that element of photography is there. And then of course, through the entirety of each and every project, you have to demonstrate the general skills. So the 8 skills I showed in the previous slide, and if you guys request, if you guys need, I can go back to that slide so you can take a screenshot of that. So those are the skills that you have to showcase through each and every project that you take up. And that will kind of make sure that the person who's looking at the project knows ki, okay, this guy knows the basics of UX UI design and is good at these things and is able to incorporate that. So that works like charm. And ultimately you have to figure out what tools work for you. Of course, Figma is one way to work on it, but then when it comes to even creating portfolio, there are so many different products that are out there that you can use. So select the one that works for you. There is no correct answer here, or should I say there is no wrong answer here. And you have to deliver a portfolio that speaks about you, shows your work with interactive prototypes, detailed case study of your projects, and it has high quality visuals. And this will create a comprehensive and engaging representation of who you are as a designer. And finally, we come to getting a design job. So other than portfolio, the other important thing that you need for a job is a resume. Include the relevant experience, your skill set, contact details are super important. And well, engage with the community, talk to people, talk to recruiters, expand your network, like get in touch with people. Generally, just applying through various portals sometimes may not be enough. Sometimes your network helps you. And even the work that you do, keep posting it somewhere so that you come in the radar of someone, and if they feel that you are the right fit for their job, they'll probably reach out to you, or you could reach out to them, and if that works out, you'll get a response. And well, job searching is a process that is very long. It requires patience, but stay calm, confident. You don't have to lose hope, and learn whatever you can from each interview and interaction. And this process does not stop, like step 1 done, step 2 done, step 3 done. You continuously learn new things about design. You continuously see different things that you can work on, which means you're taking on new projects. And when you take on new projects, you have new things that you can add, you can work in that. And then as you create projects, you put that into your portfolio and you keep applying. You learn something new from an interview, you fix that in your portfolio, and all of those. So yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you. And yeah, I'll open the floor for questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Like, will you show the slide in which it has 8 skills?
Yeah, I'll quickly show that. And of course, if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on Topmate. So yeah, it's Topmate slash Anudesh Kaushal. You just have to spell my name. Is the slide visible to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. Take a screenshot. Cool. Are there any questions?
I think we can take up any questions now. We have enough time for questions. Meanwhile, I've also shared a feedback link on the chat box and request everyone to take up the feedback, which will help us improve our sessions. And the recording of this session and the previous sessions that has happened over the week is also an Apna Exclusives webpage, for which I've shared the link on the chat box. Please feel free to register yourself and access the link for any kind of recordings. We are open to questions. We can take up any questions. We'll be available for another 10 minutes. So please feel free to ask questions. If you want to go back to any slides, check out any specific slides and explain it again, let us know.
Yeah.
Sir, like, do we have regular classes on this design, or like once in a while? Like, this is only the first class. First and
Uh,
last, I mean.
Yeah, this is just one-off talk that I'm giving. But if you would like to connect with me on this, I'll also drop my top mate link here.
It's just back.
And yeah, you can use the link that I've shared here and connect with me one on one if you want me to answer, like have like one on one conversation and help you out there. And if I can recall, so I think this would help you like get 25% off. Uh, I'll just check after the call if this coupon works, but this will help you get 25% off there. But yeah, this is like one-off session, and again, uh, if you would like to continue your journey or even start your journey as a designer, then you can start with just going to YouTube, search for design thinking. So you'll get some videos, they'll teach you one thing or another, then you can go for user research and so on and so forth. You can also go to chat GPT and ask like what are the different things that are needed to become a designer. It may give a bunch of miscellaneous or weird answers as well, but pinpoint, ask it in a pinpoint way. I want to become a UX designer. How do I go about with it? So it will teach you that. And there are certain courses that you can also enroll to. Scalar dot I don't remember, but you can take a look online.
I think Scalar has a good amount of courses online for
Yeah,
designing.
Scalar. There's another one that I'm forgetting. But yeah, I think when you look for Scalar, you'll get a lot of other options too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Sir,
Yeah.
like for the freshers, there are really very less openings for the UI UX designers. Like in most of the companies, it's oh, at least they're asking for 1 year of experience. Like,
So right now the job market is not that good. I uh, like no one can deny that.
Yeah.
So there are these challenges of getting a job, but I think that is where the network part comes into play.
Saying that.
Yeah.
okay, got it, sir.
So I had mentioned in one of these slides, yeah, networking. So joining various design communities, attending conferences, and connecting with professionals in person or over LinkedIn kind of opens up these opportunities for you, because a lot of times some startups may be hiring and they might be okay with someone with fresher level experience. But then at the end of the day, you have to showcase a very good portfolio. So even if you're a fresher, the person would want to know that you can do the job well, and your portfolio should reflect that.
Mhm. So, are there any short skills that people can learn to which will strengthen their portfolio?
Yeah, of course. So I think visual design is something that I would strongly emphasize on. So no matter how good work that you have done, if
Mhm.
it is a long bunch of text that I have to read through, or agar it's like a newspaper अखबार जैसा है जो मुझे पढ़ना है, तो people would not really prefer that. So generally I think start with understanding colors, typography, layout principles, among other things, and just start with visual design. Then you can probably go to motion design, have some creative animation in different aspects of it. But fundamentally I think learning what design thinking is would help. Understanding what user research is and how to conduct that would help. So I think top three skills, if you ask me, there are design thinking, user research, and visual design.
Awesome. All right. If there are any other questions, we can take up. Please feel free to ask. We can stay here for another 5 minutes. Hmm.
Cool. I don't think there are too many questions.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anitosh, for joining, and thank you participants for joining. And we'll see you with another session tomorrow. Or there's someone messaging.
So, knowledge of UN. YouTube. YouTube is the best, and you'll get a lot of videos on YouTube. And other than that, I also recommend ChatGPT. So just search your put your query like what are the things that I should learn or what should I search on YouTube to learn UX UI design. Then even that would give you good answers, and then kind of you can do like a back and forth. And yeah, I think these two things would help you more than enough.
Awesome.
Any UI UX designer here?
I am.
Okay. Thanks, Anadish. I think we'll close the session now. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.